What happened in the sprint for the Qatar Grand Prix? Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the P1 podcast, otherwise known as the Oscar Piastri podcast. Oscar P1 Astri. Because, my God, Tom Bellingham, we got some things to talk about.
We sure have. That's why I'm wearing orange for McLaren, right? What a sprint, by the way. We've been complaining a little, not complaining, but, you know, we've said many times that it does feel a little bit strange to have like that whole day for such a short race, but what a short race. This track, I think, is actually quite underrated with the action that it provides. The sand on the track, the fact that it's an absolute tyre killer. We saw some brilliant racing.
And also as well, we haven't even put this in our sort of sheets that we have, that we had a banging quali earlier today as well, where it was a front row lockout for McLaren. Oscar Piastri, of course, getting pole position, beating Lando, who made another mistake in quali. Just wanted to touch on that because, of course, Oscar did a great job in there as well. But we then moved to the race itself, and we kind of thought it might have been quite interesting with the fact of there's this whole concern around tyres, but not just that. The teams actually went for different strategies rather than the mediums, potentially even like the hards being used, because you never know if a team might be a little bit too cautious on that front. But no, we had a mix of soft and medium, and my God, were the soft runners quick off the start.
Yeah, pretty wild that we've had all this talk earlier this morning about we might have tyre blowouts, or we might, and as of yet we still don't know, that might have mandatory pit stops in the race because the tyres aren't going to last. And then you do a sprint race and they're like, right, soft tyres, let's do this. It was worth a gamble. It was very much worth a gamble at the start because, boy, they were quick. Russell in particular, my days.
Yeah, they were quick. I don't know if it was worth the gamble.
Not worth the gamble.
2 or 3 more safety cars, which, I mean, it's crazy to think they had a VSC. Did they have a VSC or was it two safety cars?
Two safety cars at the start, and it still didn't work out.
Still wasn't enough for a 19-lap race around 1 minute 30, maybe just lower than that per lap, which is crazy.
It was really enjoyable. Wild. Yeah.
What is it about sprints this year? Like we had one, was it in Austria, that was one of the best races we've had, and then we have this one as well, there was so much action in 19 laps, and considering probably a third of this race was neutralized onto the safety car as well, like how on earth do we have this much to talk about? It's crazy. But of course, the massive thing before we dive into the nitty-gritty of what happened in the Qatar Sprint is that Max Verstappen is a 3-time champion of the world.
It's strange, obviously, as a Max fan, it's not surprising that it's happened.
What do you mean, mate? Honestly, if Perez had won,
I know, you never know. It was always going to happen, but from after about maybe the 6th race or something, and he's had an amazing season. But yeah, to see him crowned champion is awesome, and celebration.
So
I know you're so happy.
So happy for you, mate. With your Max cape on, three years in a row.
Yeah, I had to do it. A nice moment to be crowned the champ, even if it was a bit strange for P2 in a sprint.
Absolutely. Didn't win the race that he gets crowned world champion, which is kind of weird considering how many races he has won this year. A quick word from me. Max Verstappen has been sensational this year. It's all well and good having the best car, but to be able to deliver with it to the level of which he has has never been seen before in the level of the amount of wins that he's had in a row this year. He's broken that record. He's going to break many more records over the next few years. Unbelievable. He's a complete... no one can question this 2023 World Championship, which I'm sure doesn't bother him in the slightest. But he's been utterly unbelievable. So well done, Max Verstappen. At Rinjob, do you think it's fair that Max Verstappen gets prime position after the sprint, even though Oscar won the race? Yes. I have wanted the world champion to have the front and centre moment for many, many years. And I know when they didn't do it, when it was kind of almost just like swept under the carpet, like, Michael Schumacher's world champion, or Lewis Hamilton's world champion, and there wasn't really much of a song and dance made of it. Now, absolutely. Oscar got his time. They spoke to him. It's a sprint at the end of the day. But either or, the world champion, if you're being crowned that race, that has to be number one prime slot, in my opinion. It doesn't matter even if Logan Sargent won the race. It should all be about Max Verstappen and winning the world title.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because, obviously if I said it, a lot of people would just be like, well, of course you think that because you like Max. But at the end of the day, yes, it's unfortunate because it's happened where there'll be a lot of people going, oh, well, Max has, he's had all his celebrations. Why does he get to do this? And, it's Oscar's first time celebrating P1. But at the end of the day, he is the world champion. That is the race. He's become world champion. That is the ultimate prize in this sport. So, of course, they're going to take priority to it.
I think that was all good in my eyes. So let's give Oscar Piastri his moment in the sun, shall we? Race winner, sprint winner, but not Grand Prix winner, which we just have to keep reminding people he is not he's not even is it a race winner? No, it's a sprint winner.
No, you can say he's won a race. I think F1 said, didn't they? I think they tweet. Do you say they tweeted Oscar Piastri as a race winner?
No, just said a winner. I think.
Okay, as a winner. Maybe. Yeah, he's a winner in Formula One, which he is. He's a
winner in Formula One.
Winner, but he's not a Grand Prix winner. Yeah, this is a new thing we're going to have to get used to, but it's still an incredible achievement. Of course, a lot of the narrative will be, oh, he's got that win before Lando, of course. And can you believe that in our predictions, we had a whole debate about, and I think one of the predictions, which we'll get into tomorrow, was Oscar gets his first win. So what a shout. What a shout that is.
I forgot about that.
Let me, while you're having your chat, let me find out who that is, and we need to give him a shout out because fair play.
That's unbelievable. And I'm pretty sure I was like, oh, so Oscar gets his first podium, and then all of a sudden you all want Piastri to win, and then it was like, oh God, you've actually done it. So well done. We'll find out who that is. But yeah, Oscar was brilliant. He not only did he have to manage the whole start with George Russell and the soft tyre runners being really quick, but also just to make sure that he didn't lose his head in that moment and to be able to take those medium tyres as long as they did. He had a safety car restart to deal with as well, which it wasn't the best, but he managed to keep P1 going into turn one. And then he had Max Verstappen hunting him down with 3-4 laps to go. So he had plenty to deal with, did Oscar, but a beautiful drive. Unbelievable. Like he was in the right position. He didn't make any mistakes. Nothing could be taken away from Oscar. I think it's going to be very difficult for him to replicate that tomorrow. But he is a sprint winner, and he should really enjoy it as well.
Yes, it's a phenomenal drive. It's a very different feeling when you've got Max Verstappen behind you and you're running P1, and he stayed there, kept his cool, didn't kind of get flustered the fact that he could have quite easily sort of got very annoyed that, has McLaren thrown it away here because the soft runners are flying past me and now I'm under pressure. But what a mature drive. I know it's a very shortened race, but my God, when he gets his sort of tyre wear issues sorted, because his raw speed is unbelievable. To think that the start of the season, we were all wondering, has he made the right move to go to McLaren? Should he have stayed at Alpine? And he's now here winning a sprint, which is wild to think about. And well done, Oscar. And well done to Tamsin Riddle, who made that prediction of Oscar gets his first win. What a shout.
Sensational. Well done, Tamsin. Oh, no.
Charles Leclerc's got a penalty.
Oh, no.
Oh, the live reaction. Here we go.
As if Charles Leclerc, 5-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Albon promoted to 7th, Alonso into P8.
4 times on the final lap. What was he doing?
4 times on the final lap, Charles Leclerc exceeded track limits and beat Albon by 0.004 of a second over the line. But he now gets a 5-second time penalty and therefore doesn't get a point. But I'm fine. I'm literally dead inside after this year for Ferrari, really. I mean, Carlos Sainz obviously getting that win, but Charles Leclerc's really had a mediocre season. He's had some moments. But anyway, I don't want to talk about it. Well, where were we? Let's move on. Question from P1 Patreon Discord user R-Sport. Do you think the soft runners expected multiple safety cars and that played into their decision to start on that compound? Seemed like a reasonable gamble except for the limited info on fuel runs from first practice or one practice. I think that there must have been an element of gambling for sure, just purely because everything this weekend has pointed towards is tyre wear. The tyres aren't going to last and therefore, don't risk it. And then this driver's starting on the softs. And despite 2 safety cars, Russell was still a sitting duck. If they had no safety cars, the soft runners would have been absolutely screwed. I genuinely think the likes of Hülkenberg, before he gets yeeted out into non-existence by Ocon turning into him, could have got a really good result. A bit like how we saw in Austria as well in the sprint, wasn't it, with Hülkenberg?
Yeah.
So those the medium choice was definitely the right one. But the gamble paid off because there was a couple of crazy incidents.
Yeah, it did. It was, like I say, it was such a wild race, and the fact that Russell was leading, and then you think, oh, they've played an absolute blinder here because you also have that advantage on the safety car restarts. I mean, just a kind of props to Russell. His safety car restart was absolutely sensational, where he went so early and caught Piastri completely by surprise. Russell played a blinder there, but it didn't work out for the soft runners in the end, and they fell back to the point where Alex Albon somehow has made it into the points, which if you'd said that at the start of the sprint, I'd have said, what are you smoking, as people do in our predictions.
What are you cooking, eh? It is interesting, Alex Albon now scoring 2 points for Williams. That is an unbelievable performance from Alex, especially considering how bad the Williams has looked this entire weekend around a track that I don't think was supposed to really suit them. So massively good job from Alex. And next question is around the crash. And 61th says, who was at fault? Ocon, Checo, Hulk, or the sand? I think the sand had a part to play in everything that we saw in the sprint, to be honest with you. So big shout out to the sand for making a crazy sprint.
More sand.
When I check the weather forecast, I'm going to be looking for sandstorms now to see if we get an interesting race. But for me, definitely Ocon. It's difficult. It's not like Ocon deserves to have a race ban or anything. It's just more that the nature of the racing, I don't think Ocon necessarily expected Checo to be on the right-hand side, which, of course, if Checo's not there, then Hulk will naturally move to the right. But instead, he gets sandwiched, and then it's a crash between all three of them. But I definitely think Ocon was the one at fault and what caused the incident. Yeah,
it's more on Ocon. Perez, I don't think you can blame him too much for that one. Of course, he's putting his car in a slightly dangerous place because he's seen two cars, and he kind of relies on Ocon seeing him or not moving over, but he did move over. Strange to think that was the actual moment where Max was crowned champion, essentially, because Checo was out the race. But of course, that was never. That was
really massive for the championship, Tommy.
It was, yeah.
Perez out, Crofty was like, "Oh my God, this is it! Max Verstappen is the champion."
It's a shame for Hulk though, because it looked like he might get some rare Haas points.
Yeah, and they need them. Other incidents to talk about as well has to be, firstly, Liam Lawson just completely losing it on his own in the first. Was it the first lap of the sprint?
Yeah, it was. Lap one.
Yeah, and then the second one was, of course, Logan Sargent.
Your biggest good surprise.
It's my biggest good surprise, and it was surprising how he went off quite at a strange place. And you just, at this point, I lost it a little bit on Twitch, and I was like, just keep it on the track. I know it's difficult. It doesn't matter if you finish 10 seconds behind Albon. Just stop binning it. Stop DNFing, and they might keep you.
Exactly. He doesn't need to beat Alex. The team have come out on social and been like, we know what he needs to do to keep his seat. We still have faith in him. We're backing him. And then he throws it away in I say pointless sprint, but his teammate got even more points. So, yeah, it's not looking good for Logan at all.
He needs to bounce back tomorrow, just have a clean race, and then to win Austin. That would be the ideal, I think. But yeah, it's not looking good for Logan Sargent. And would you, because I know we rated how high of a chance Logan was to keep his seat, would you put him down a point after this sprint?
Yeah, I think he's losing a point, one incident at a time. So
yeah,
another -1 for that.
Oh,
it's
dear.
not looking great for him.
L's in the chat for Logan. And that is it. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening to this wonderful sprint review for the Qatar Grand Prix. Tomorrow, we'll be live, Matt P1 Tommy, on Twitch. As always, for our watch-along. Go and check us out there. And, of course, we'll have all of our funniest tweets, podcast content, and everything else you know from us coming your way very soon. Remember, we are on Patreon. If you want to go and find us there, it's patreon.com/Matt P1 Tommy. Exclusive podcasts. private Discord, early access to events, everything you can possibly wish for from us, a full podcast exclusive series. We've also got new merch, so go and check that out, and that is the final shout out I'm going to do, Tommy. Right, thank you everybody, see you soon. Bye-bye!
Bye.